Good morning, this is Nicholas from Gandor Gaming, and today I bring you guys my purple yellow crocodile deck profile post OP08, which is a really fun list. So let's get straight into this. So if you don't know, this is Lakers Croc, who has the ability that during your opponent's turn, once per turn, when a Dawn is returned to the Dawn deck, you can actually re-stand a Dawn from the Dawn deck. The idea is that you want to minus Dawn on your opponent's turn because then your leader will restand it, which is a pretty solid effect. He is a purple yellow leader, and he is also Baroque Works instead of Warlords, which does matter because Baroque Works has specific cards that are really good if you are a Baroque Works leader. So let's get straight into this. So first things first, we're playing 4 copies of 9 cost Yamato. This is one of the boss monsters of the deck. It's one of the best cards in the deck. This card has the ability to, on play, if you have 1 or less life, you get to add 1 card from the top of your deck to your life. Then, also, on play, you also get to kill a character on field equal to, or let's go equal to, or greater than, less than, the life or the total life of you and your opponent. So let's say you are at 1 life and your opponent is at 4 life, then you can kill a 5 cost character on your opponent's field or lower, which is a pretty amazing effect. We're also playing 4 copies of Crocodile. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to leader lock characters. This is an amazing 8 cost character that is basically a healer. On play -2 Dawn. If your leader includes Baroque Works, add a top card from your deck to your life. And then during your opponent's turn, you have the ability to -1 Dawn in order to what's called draw 1, trash 1 from your hand. Allows you to mulligan 1 card from your hand during your opponent's turn when they swing, which helps you in the late game because basically he can reopen a Dawn and make it Dawn open, allowing you to counter out of your opponent's swings, which is very prevalent. Finally, for our last big cost character, we're also playing 4 copies of Charlotte Linlin. Charlotte Linlin is just a staple for this deck. It's a 7/8 that has the ability on play to either gain a life or your opponent loses a life they choose. Very strong ability, really powerful monster. That is a really solid monster for the deck. So that is it for our top end. Let's talk about the cards this deck got in OP08. Now, this is a really goofy engine, but I've been really seeing a lot of people try it out. So I'm trying the Count Nitito engine, or Nitaru engine. I'm not sure how to pronounce this guy. But I'm playing the chicken engine, which is pretty fun. So Count Nitaru is the boss monster for the chicken engine. On your opponent's turn, on KO, -1 Dawn, and then you basically get to play 1 Baron Tomina, 4 costs or less from your deck. Then you get to shuffle your deck. So the idea is the chicken engine is that they're all chickens that minus Dawn on your opponent's turn, so they basically are free effects that when on KO, they form into the next evolution. So we're also playing 4 copies of Viscount Hiko. This card, same thing. On your opponent's turn, -1 Dawn. If he is KO'd by a card effect or by battle, you can -1 Dawn to play 1 Count Nitaru with a cost of 6 or less from your deck, and then shuffle your deck. So the idea is that when he dies, you plays him from deck. When he dies, you plays the baby version from deck, which is pretty awesome. The baby version is our lovely little guy right here, Baron Tomoko. So Baron Tomoko is a blocker who's pretty awesome, and he's probably one of the reasons why we play this deck, because he does a really cool effect. He's a 3 cost, 4K blocker that says, hey, honor your opponent's KO, -1 Dawn, and then play 1 Vincent Hikako will cost a 5 or less directly from hand. So the idea is that you want to have these 2 set up. So you play out Hikako on a 3 Dawn turn. Your opponent will kill it because it's a blocker when you swing into it. And then you will play out the 5 cost guy for free, and you will not lose any Dawn. Then, on your next turn, when you eventually try to kill this guy, you're going to play this guy from deck, and then this guy will play this guy from deck. That's kind of the whole gimmick of the deck, which is pretty awesome. It's a really cool little engine, and I'm really happy about it. Came out in OP08, and it's the only deck that really uses these cards to their best ability, because you're actually not losing any Dawn when you use these guys, which feels pretty nice. Next, I'm playing 4 copies of Miss All Sunday. This card is absolutely amazing. This is a 5/5 that has the ability on play to ramp Dawn from your Dawn deck on play by resting a Dawn on field. Then, if you have 6 more Dawn cards, draw 1 card. It also has the ability to, as a trigger, -2 Dawn, then play this card for free, which is absolutely incredible. And that's not a big deal because you basically -2 play her, then you get to ramp against. You're actually only minusing 1 for a free body, which is pretty nice. We're also playing 4 copies of Miss Doublefinger. She's just a 2-gay who has the ability to on play trash 1 card from her hand to ramp a Dawn. She also has the trigger effect to -1 Dawn to play it for free, which is pretty awesome. We're also playing 4 copies of our lovely Miss Wednesday. Miss Wednesday is one of the best blockers. This is also another leader lock blocker. It basically says, hey, I'm a blocker. That says, hey, on your opponent's turn, you may -1 Dawn to restate a Dawn, which does not really sound that bad until you realize the whole point of this is that because you minus a Dawn to restand a Dawn, this card actually ramps you in this deck. Because your leader is going to restand a Dawn, and she's going to restand a Dawn, which is actually pretty solid. So not only does it make your events more alive in hand, and it's also a 4K 3-cost blocker, but it's also ramping you, which feels pretty awesome. You really want to mulligan for this card and this card. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Capone Beige. This is just a really good 2K who has a trigger to stop an opponent from declaring an attack. We're also playing 3 copies of Miss 13 and Miss Friday. This is just a searchable 2K for the deck. You don't usually use its trigger to play it for free. You're usually just using it as a 2K, but it does come up sometimes. And then finally, we're playing 4 copies of Miss Valentine. This card is a searcher for deck. On play, loot the top 5 cards of the deck, add a Baroque Works type for your deck to hand. And then its trigger says -1 Dawn to play it directly from life, allowing you just to search, which is pretty solid. And because of your leader, this is actually not a cost, which is pretty nice. And then finally, we're playing 4 copies of Oh Come My Way. This card came out in the Memorial Collection, which is awesome. This card has the ability to -1 Dawn during your opponent's turn as a counter. If your leader is Baroque Works type, select a character on field, change the attack target to that character. And then its trigger effect says -1 Dawn to draw 2. One of the best triggers in the deck. It is just to draw 2, which is absolutely insane. So that is it for deck profile. I hope you all enjoy, and like and subscribe. See you on the next one, and bye-bye.